Mirrored sunglasses are pretty divisive. In my experience, people tend to love them or hate them. But whether you love them or hate them, there are definitely some advantages to having a mirrored coating on your lenses. And guess what? There are some disadvantages too. So in this video, I'm going to talk to you all about the pros and the cons of mirrored lenses, so you can decide if they're right for you. So hi, I'm Robert, Style and Vision Consultant here. Well, not here, but Style and Vision Consultant at the Spectacle Factory. I've brought you out into a beautiful sunny day with me today because I think mirrored sunglasses are kind of in their element in these kind of conditions. And I'm talking specifically about direct sunlight. I've got a low sun behind me, one of the most challenging lighting conditions for our eyes to handle. Because when we get direct sunlight, I mean, we're not supposed to look into the sun or even towards the sun. But certain times, for example, when we're driving or we're performing sports, we can't avoid looking in the direction of the sun. And where mirrored sunglasses are a big advantage is in the fact that they actually block an extra 10 to 15% more light than an ordinary sunglass lens would. I would go as far as to say that in certain conditions, you can only really drive safely with mirrored sunglasses, and I've experienced that myself. I'm fortunate enough to have quite a wide variety of sunglasses, and I've tried all different tint colours, polarised, not polarised, and only in my mirrored sunglasses do I feel completely safe when driving towards the sun. So that's the first advantage to mirrored sunglasses, is that in the harshest, most demanding light conditions, they're going to give you more eye protection than a normal sunglass lens would, and there's definitely no debate about that. But did you know the reason why mirrored sunglasses were actually invented in the first place? Well, believe it or not, it was a technology designed for NASA astronauts to protect them from infrared radiation which they were exposed to in space, as well as obviously harsher sun because they're outside of the ozone layer. And they found that only by reflecting a certain portion of light away from the astronaut's eyes using a mirrored lens did they really have adequate eye protection for those kind of conditions. And that technology eventually filtered its way through to sunglasses. So not only do sunglasses protect you from intense visible light, they're also the only technology that will protect you from invisible infrared radiation. Now, infrared radiation is only really now being fully understood in terms of how it affects us on Earth, but research has suggested that it can cause early aging of the eyes, and it also makes our eyes kind of feel hot behind a pair of sunglasses. So if you're abroad and you're in really warm conditions and you want to feel cool and refreshed, a mirrored lens will do that more than an ordinary pair of sunglasses would. It'll have that cooling effect on your eyes. And thirdly, when you've got the sky and an ocean or just a river like I've got behind me today, you'll find that there's a predominance of blue light, and that blue light tends to tire our eyes and cause eye strain. And if you get a blue mirror finish on your lenses, that will actually specifically reflect the blue portion of light away from your eyes, so it'll make your eyes a lot more comfortable in those kind of conditions. So if you're a fisherman or sailor, you definitely want a blue mirrored lens. And that leads me on to the next point, because the advantages are not all to do with your vision. There is a cosmetic element to mirrored sunglasses as well, because what it really allows you to do is customize your sunglasses to your heart's content. You can add any kind of colour finish to them, and you can really mix and match those coloured coatings with different colours of lenses. Now, the colour of the lens affects how you see out through the sunglasses, and the colour of the coating affects how other people see in. So let's say, for example, you went for a rose lens, which is what we recommend for things like cycling and golf. A lot of golfers and cyclists love the effect of the rose lens as they're looking through it, but they don't necessarily like the cosmetics of it, of how other people would see them. So you can then obscure that rose lens by applying, say, a blue mirror coating or a green mirror coating over the top, and that's what other people would see. In this case, this is a brown lens that I've got here with a bronze mirror coating over the top, and I think those two are a beautiful combination. But you could, for example, have a green lens with a red coating, or you could have a brown lens with a silver coating. It really allows you to customize your sunglasses and mix and match the colors to match the frames that you've chosen. And for me, that's what I really love about mirrored lenses, is that element of customization and making your sunglasses bespoke to you. Now, I mentioned that there are also disadvantages to mirrored lenses, and there definitely are. Number one is that because it is blocking more light from your eyes, or removing more light that you would normally see with, in lower light situations, mirrored sunglasses are definitely worse than non-mirrored sunglasses. So if the sun goes behind the clouds and it's a bit more shaded, you're going to prefer a normal sunglass lens without a mirrored coating. There's also the option of having an anti-reflective coating to allow as much light in as possible. Now that's where adaptive sun lenses come in. And I've already filmed a video where I said that adaptive sun lenses are the best sunglass lenses that you can get, and I really firmly believe in that, because what adaptive sun lenses will do is they'll actually adjust to the light conditions that you're in. So these are green adaptive sun lenses, polarised, with a silver flash coating. And straight away my visibility is improved because I'm in a slightly shaded area, the sun's behind the clouds at the moment, and the adaptive sun lenses have faded back to around about a 60% tint, which means that despite the mirrored coating, they're still clear enough for me to see really, really well. In fact, it was quite an amazing difference when I swapped from those to these, because these have a fixed tint. Now, when the sun comes back out, these would then darken and actually go as dark as these, if not darker, if we were in the right conditions. So that's why adaptive sun lenses are a perfect all year round solution. They're great in the UK, they're great abroad, they're great in basically any climate, any country, any conditions. You've got a pair of sunglasses that are perfectly appropriate, even if you combine it with a mirrored coating. In fact, especially if you combine it with the mirrored finish, because in those really harsh, really extreme conditions that I mentioned, you're going to get that extra protection that your eyes need. But yeah, assuming that you're not having adaptive sun lenses, if you do have a mirrored coating on your sunglasses, it's going to make them perform worse in those lower light situations. The second thing is that whilst it's not necessarily easier to scratch a mirrored lens, it does tend to show up the scratch a lot more, because where the lens will scratch, the lens will no longer be mirrored, so you'll get a portion of the lens which won't be reflecting light, and therefore it becomes dead obvious. And then thirdly, not everyone likes the look, and that's a real personal preference. I'll leave that up to you to decide if mirrored sunglasses are to your taste or not. So I really hope you've enjoyed this explanation and summary of how mirrored lenses affect the performance of your sunglasses. I hope it's given you some food for thought. Let me know in the comments below whether you like mirrored sunglasses or not, or whether you think you might consider them for your next pair of sunglasses. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks guys, bye bye. The geese are getting excited.